Hi everyone, this is daveac.blip.tv and this is my vblog 094 for Friday the 7th of May 2010, and it's the morning after the UK elections. I'm based in the UK, of course, and if I look bleary-eyed, that's because I was up till 5 AM watching them unfold. Looks at the moment as though we might have a hung parliament. But I'm not going to talk politics, I'm going to talk lots of twos today, even two wines. Yes, it's two of this, two of that, and two wines to boot. I'm so going to try and not move the camera today because I've got a lot of things to talk about, but not so many things to show you. But I think it's a full and interesting podcast, so please stay along to the end, and remember the wines will be at the end. Well, I'll start as normal with the Doctor Who news and related podcast. Well, the Sunday that's just gone, Podshock did what it's doing. He's having the live shows during the UK run of Doctor Who. And again, Lewis, as soon as it's over, he blocks the one on TalkShoe and he does the post-production on it. And because they're usually a couple of hours long, he splits them into two podcasts. So there are two Doctor Who Podshock episodes now available. The second one has just gone up earlier as I started to record this. So, and again, with Ken and James having to sit down during the middle of the show, I stepped in and helped a little bit as well. So this was on the second part of the two-part story about Weeping Angels. It was Flesh and Stone. So that again has been divided into two episodes, 198 and 199. So please find those on iTunes or from podshock.net. Well, of course, I'm one of the two co-hosts of the Culton Collective along with Doctor, and we also had our show, but ours stays up on the TalkShoe feed, and that's at 54821. We congregate at 2 PM Eastern Daylight Time and do a live show with, well, we had about 45 to 50 people in the room this Sunday, so it was a really full house, and we try and end in time to give people a break before, of course, Podshock is recorded. Oh, and that's one thing I should have mentioned. Last week, Podshock went out at 5 PM on TalkShoe. This week, it's going to go out on 4:30. Lewis has moved it a little bit earlier. The TalkShoe ID for Podshock is 23358, and of course, the TalkShoe ID for the Culton Collective is 54821. And we did again about the story Flesh and Stone, but also later that night, helping myself and Ian was Mike Randall Thor, and we did our commentary. And I think it's safe to say that we were one of the first people to get up a commentary. So if you really wanted to watch through your copy of Flesh and Stone again and just see what other people think, you can play your copy and you listen to our audio track, which of course is available on the TalkShoe site. Or of course, if you subscribe to iTunes, you'll not only catch the weekend shows we do, but if you unclick the little triangle arrow and list all the episodes, you might see there's one or two midweek shows that you've missed, studio and commentary. So please check that out. And as well as that, I should just say what's happening this Sunday. Of course, it's the story The Vampires of Venice, and we will be covering that at 2 PM Eastern Daylight Time on TalkShoe, and then at 4:30 Doctor Who Podshock will be doing their coverage of it. And I think Lewis did say that because it's going to be Mother's Sunday in the States this Sunday, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the States, that show will probably have to be squeezed in to just 1 hour. So if you really want to talk, try and make it to our show at 2 PM as well. There's no reason why you can't go on both shows and give us your thoughts on this one-part story, The Vampires of Venice. Remember, TalkShoe ID 54821 for the Culton Collective. And let me just mention again, as also, because the Doctor Who episodes are airing here in the UK and they're running about a fortnight behind in America, don't forget, if you don't want to be spoiled by listening to the latest episodes of either Podshock or the Culton Collective, if you do subscribe to them on iTunes, you can actually pick out individual episodes and only listen to them as you've seen the episode. So I'm sure everybody can work that out for themselves. Okay, that's lots of twos. Two TV stories now. The Friday that had just gone, the Friday I was doing my last vblog 093, was when the group of the people campaigning for the improvement of the quality of BBC HD, which a large number of us feel has dropped below par with the change to the new encoder and the 40% bitrate drop. They met up with the Daniela Negge, I'm going to get that name right. They met up with them and Andy quested Daniela Negge, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, at the BBC studios to go through and look at some test footage and to put their case. And also there was representatives from the BBC Trust that turned up at that. That was a big surprise. So we're hoping that there's going to be something up online in the next day or two talking about the findings of that and any recommendations that may come from it. There is a government petition site that you can normally put your protest vote on, but during the course of the elections that has been frozen for now. All those petitions have been frozen during the course of the elections, so I might mention that again next week when I've seen the report back. Okay, the other second television thing that I wanted to mention was I went to the Trafford Centre, which is a really great big shopping mall, as you would say in the States. And while I was there, I was looking around the Selfridges, which is a rather posh store, and they have some really nice televisions. And I saw for the first time the new Panasonic 52-inch 3D TV that's capable of 3D TV with the active glasses. And it was exceptional. It really did work. It wasn't a fudge at all. It is a fudge in one sense, in as much as there's no definitive written down way of having 3D to your TV screens. For instance, Sky TV are going on a different system which shows the two pictures side by side, and you wear, I think, passive glasses that direct your eye to the two pictures and then they're merged. So, but to anybody not wearing the glasses, they see the picture twice. With the Panasonic version, it uses active glasses, and you've got that sort of slightly overlapping thing that the glasses, in very quick succession, make the 3D effect come to life. Very impressed I was with that. The TV, however, was £2,400. That's $4,000. And then, of course, the glasses, I think you get one or two pairs free. But, of course, you need a special Blu-ray player to play the 3D discs. I do believe that the Sony PlayStation 3 will have a firmware update to play 3D at some point. But I need to move on. Lots of stories. Two browser-related stories. There's just been another update to Firefox, and that is Firefox 3.6.4. I've already had one crash since that, so let's hope it's a stable version. And the other one is news about the actual active share that browsers have in the internet market. For the very first time in a long, long time, Internet Explorer has dropped below 60% of the most used browser. It's dropped down barely below that to 59.9, which is amazing. Firefox takes 24.5% share of the browser market, with Chrome coming up third with 6.7%. So I thought that was interesting. Two other pieces of internet news, trying to do them in twos to keep the theme going, is that Facebook has fixed what they say was rather embarrassing security flaw. And what it meant was something to do with when you're on Facebook, there's also a little chat button at the bottom, which I must admit I always have mine set that I'm not available. But what was happening is that people that were friends could actually be listening in to chats that people were having with their other friends. I don't know how it happened, whether it was by default or there was just an easy way of doing it. but that security link has been now fixed with a little patch. And the second of these two pieces of news is that Skype allows obviously internet calls over the internet using the system where you're not using an actual phone, although you can use Skype out to dial a proper phone, but normally it's a SIP call and it's like voice over IP protocol. You could have a conference with about 9 or 10 people in audio. But if you actually want to do a video chat with a friend, that only works in a two-way system. And as soon as the third person comes in, the video drops out and you switch to audio. Well, there's going to be an upgrade to Skype to allow up to 5-way video calls. There's a catch. To start with, this is going to be free, but at some point it will be charged for. So I don't know whether this is going to be a beta sort of testing era, but it's something to look forward to, and I think that's happening in towards the end of this month. So Skype up to 5-way video calls, so look out for an upgrade to your Skype 4 if that's what you use. Ooh, oh yeah, should have called this 8 or 6, another 2 internet little bits of news. Sorry it's a bit newsy this week, but it's all good stuff, isn't it? From the Blink, not Blink, got Blink on my mind, from Click, the BBC internet show that is on every Saturday, and for those of you in the UK, you can actually watch it on the BBC iPlayer. They had a marvellous little site that Kate mentioned, and that is called Alternative2, that's all one word, .net. And if you're looking for a particular program that does anything, but you don't want to pay for the market leader, you type in either the function of the program or maybe the name of the leader, and it will list alternative software that will do a similar job. Now, some of that will be shareware, some of it will be commercial, some of it will be free, but it will be shown as such, so that if you want a photo editing one, but you don't want to pay out for something, it might suggest Picasso or some other free or some other method of doing that. With audio, it might mention the Skype MPEG-3 recorder or Audacity or some other way of recording. So that's a nice little site and certainly can save you doing a lot of searches. And another big change on the internet is the very first URL, that's the long name that you can type in at the top of the bar, the actual specific address of a page, is going to be allowing different characters, Arabic names and Cyrillic names I think are coming next, and so on. So eventually this has been a pressure from around the world for many years that it didn't have to be the standard, what we would call the standard alphabet, but you can have Cyrillic and Arabic and so on, and obviously other hieroglyphics is not the word, but you know what I mean, different things, so that the people in those countries, it's only the end bit that they can type in like that. The main part still has to be the www and so on. Okay, lots of news. Where am I up to now? Oh yeah, not showing you this week because I haven't seen it yet. It just arrived through the post. My Blu-ray copy of Avatar. But look, 2 again. Also inside, a DVD copy of Avatar. So with the Blu-ray, this one, you get a Blu-ray and the DVD. I don't know whether there's a cheaper option without the extra Blu-ray, because my PC won't play Blu-ray, but I have got the PlayStation 3, so it means I can enjoy this in the 2 rooms. There's the back. It's not in 3D. James Cameron has not issued a 3D version of this, because that's the inner sleeve. So I will be talking a little bit about Avatar next week. Right, where are we up to now? Oh yes, we'll go to, well, before we go to music, there's 2 other things. I'm rushing as well because I want to get to the tennis. It's the Rome Women's Tennis Association competition, and it's one of these where it's on the same surface as Roland Garros, so the people are having practice, and it's semi-finals day today. And only one little bit of slightly spoiler news: only one of the Williams sisters has made it through to semi-finals day. So that starts in about 20 minutes from now. So I'm hoping to be uploading this while I'm watching the tennis. Okay. Two more things. Yes, they're all in twos, aren't they? Yesterday, it was the 70th, or this week, it's the 70th anniversary of Puffin Books. Now, Puffin Books are the children's arm of Penguin Books, and for 70 years, they've been introducing books for children. All the famous ones. If you type it into Google, I'm sure you'll find lots of one. All the ones from Eric Carle's, Carly's, is it? The Very Hungry Caterpillar, and all the Charlotte's Web, and all the other different ones. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Oh, all sorts of books. But I've got two of them here. Yes, two. Where are they, David? Oh, they're here. There's two of my favourites. Fantastic Mr. Fox. You can see it's a battered old copy that, of course, has been made into a full-length feature film just recently. And let me read a bit of that. I just love it, love it. I'm going to read about the three farmers that are after Fantastic Mr. Fox. So imagine you're only 6 or 8 again and you're being read to. Here we go. Boggis was a chicken farmer. He kept thousands of chickens. He was enormously fat. This was because he ate 3 boiled chickens smothered with dumplings every day for breakfast, lunch and supper. Bunce was a duck and goose farmer. He kept thousands of ducks and geese. He was a kind of pot-bellied dwarf. He was so short his chin would have been under water in the shallow end of any swimming pool in the world. His food was doughnuts and goose livers. He mashed the livers into a disgusting paste, and then he stuffed the paste into the doughnuts. This diet gave him tummy ache and a beastly temper. Bean was the turkey and apple farmer. He kept thousands of turkeys in an orchard full of apple trees. He never ate any food at all. Instead, he drank gallons of strong cider, which he made from his apples in his orchard. He was as thin as a pencil and the cleverest of them all. And there's a little poem. Boggis, Bunce and Bean, one fat, one short, one lean. These horrible crooks, so different in looks, were nonetheless equally mean. And that is what the children around used to sing when they saw them. Fantastic Mr. Fox. Brilliant children's book. You've got a child under 10, that's the book to read them at night. And if they're slightly older, maybe 8 or 9 or 10, one of my really biggest favourites, Stig of the Dump. And this isn't my original copy. I had one of the original ones. This is one I picked up as a replacement copy. Stig of the Dump by Clive King. Yeah, I'm going to read a bit of this as well too. I think we're going to be a long show today. This is Christmas when Barney's staying with his parents. He's already had a bit of an adventure with Stig, but he's woken up rather sleepily and seen something glinting from one of the little gaps in the bedroom wall. Barney sat up suddenly. It was the flint. Stig's flint, left there since last time he'd come to stay. And he hadn't even thought about Stig all over Christmas. He got out of bed and looked out of the window. There was a white frost on the grass. A few hopeful birds hung about the bird table, fluffed up like woolly balls, waiting for some food to be put out for them. He reached up and took the flint. It was like a lump of ice. I wonder what it's like living in a cave these days, thought Barney. Poor Stig! He must be cold. After breakfast, Barney slipped out of the house and went up to the pit. In the copse, the frozen leaves crunched like cornflakes under his feet. He climbed down to the pit on the far side, where the cliff was lowest, and it hurt his fingers to hold onto the icy tree roots. The nettles were all dead in the bottom of the pit, and the old cans had lumps of solid ice in them. There was no sign of life in the shelter. though he noticed the ashes of a small dead fire and the faint smell of smoke wood that still hung around. But at the back of the cave was a kind of nest made of bracken and dead grass and newspaper. He thought he heard sounds coming out of it. "Stay," Barney called. Nothing happened. "I wonder if he's like a dormouse," he thought. "And does he go to sleep all winter?" He called again. "Stig, are you there?" There was a rustle in the nest, and a mop of black hair poked up and out. Underneath it was Stig's face, but it was screwed up with a very strange expression. "Is he cross?" wondered Barney anxiously. His eyes still screwed up and his mouth shut, Stig took a deep breath. And then he sneezed. It was a sneeze like a cannon going off, and it made the cave echo. "Oh, you did give me a fright," said Barney. "You've got a cold, Stig. No wonder when you live in this damp place. You need a good fire." And I better stop there. I could read that for ages. Used to love reading that at school. Yeah, Stig of the Dump. 2 brilliant books, and that's the Puffin's 70th birthday. Ooh, let's get back on tune, shall we? Tune? Who said tune? Yes, I've got some music today, and I've picked, can you guess? Yes, it's got a 2 in it anyway. It's a concerto for 2 pianos. So it's Mozart. This is a disc of Mozart concertos. I hope that's focusing it for us kindly. And in this particular one, it's Daniel Barenboim and Sir George Solti. That's Sir George Solti and Barenboim. It will play at the right volume. Here we go, just a little snippet of it. It's not going to focus, is it? Stop it there. Brilliant, brilliant. Decca, mid-priced one. Mozart concertos, K242, K365 and K466, including, of course, that concerto for 2 pianos. Well, I've been going nearly 25 minutes and we're up to the wine. Brilliant. Well, strangely enough, I've got 2 wines, and they're 2 what I would class as value wines. Now, one of the ones I've drank a couple of days ago, so there's only a little bit left of it, but this is a selected by Tesco's Australian Reserve Shiraz. Now, that means it's sort of sourced from lots of different vineyards, 13.5%. Wish I could have, there, that's the best way, isn't it, there. 13.5%, full-bodied fruity red wine with the richness of plum fruit. Okay, so this, I think it was $6, call it, just over £4, £4.50. And there's quite a nice earthy and fruity smell from this. And I like this. I thought there was quite a lot of licorice in it, and spices. No, not really any ochre in this, but I'll just see what it says. As I say, served with roast game, pizzas, and cheddar cheese. Full-bodied fruity red with the richness of plum fruit, expected of premium Australian Shiraz. So, of course, as I say, it's sourced from lots of different areas. It's not from a particular vineyard or anything like that. But it is 13.5%, and it's 2009. And for me, as a midweek bottle of wine, I thought it was excellent. It's from Tesco's, that one. There's not really a lot to say to it. It's not a very complex wine. It's just an easy drinking red Shiraz that will go down very nicely as a midweek drink. Now, the bottle that I've just opened earlier today to let it air out is a Tesco's Australian Shiraz. Now this is sourced from southeastern Australia, 2009, 14% wine from down under. And this again is from the, and I think this actually was under £4, so even slightly cheaper, but less than $6. I wish that thing would focus. If I could just find the correct spot that does it. There we are. Okay, let's see what this one's like in comparison. Similar price wines, obviously the same grape variety, same country, same year. Now here, there's definitely much more earthiness in here than fruit. Now, that is quite different. The fruit is more of a red berry fruit than a plum or a jamminus. Hang on a minute. And that's what I call a meatiness in it. It packs more of a punch in the middle range, a little bit more pepper. But on balance, I think the other one's slightly better. Let me taste again. This to me this needs to be drunk with food. I'm tasting roast lamb now. I really am tasting a roast dinner. That, although I will enjoy, I think that's more suitable for having with food. What does it say? Packed with juicy red berry flavours, wonderful with pasta and Mediterranean style couscous. Well, I think actually that's more. I get a meat. I want to eat a nice roast dinner with that. So, what do I think on balance? This one, easy, smooth, midday drinking on the cheap, as it were. This one, all right for a meal, certainly not for having a family event, but if it's just a Sunday dinner and you want to liven it up with a nice little drink, that's fine. So certainly both bottles priced at a reasonable price, and both deliver certainly to that price level. So I'm going to have to cut it short. I think I've been talking about half an hour, and these shows get longer and longer. So remember, this Sunday, Cult and Collective podcast, we're talking about The Vampires of Venice. We are at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on TalkShoe ID 54821, and you can download us from iTunes, subscribe on iTunes, and then half an hour earlier than last week at 4:30 Eastern Daylight Time will be Doctor Who Podshock, following on from us. So with that, this is daveac for vblog 094 saying catch you next week. Bye.